Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television and Radio Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You can find us syndicated on Abundant Television. That's found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. Continue sending email. I treasure each one. Donna at donnasedge.com. Donna at donnasedge.com. Got AP Sedum with me right now. AP is our long resident sports guy, and he's the one you guys like. Even in South Carolina, you're a hit. Everybody knows you in South Carolina, but we appreciate your insight and all the research that you have to do. Now, where are you located right now?
I'm in Las Vegas, Donna, for a very special event. It's the National Football Foundation College Football Hall of Fame annual awards dinner. And that entails the College Football Hall of Fame inductions and awards as well for the 2025 season. So we have some people from the SEC that will be involved, and that's a black tie affair. I think they started the National Football Foundation in 1947. It was General MacArthur. Also the former Army coach, Red Blake, and then also Grantland Rice, the famous sports writer. That's the trio of men that founded this organization, and it's lasted all these years. And they used to have the banquet at the Waldorf Astoria in New York, but they moved it to Las Vegas. And it's getting to be almost a half a dozen years now, so I don't believe they'll go back. So it's 2,000 people. Most of the head coaches will be here from around the country, and it's an exciting event. But I'll just, Don, if you'd like, I'll name the SEC players that will be inducted. And we'll start off with Greg Carr, Auburn University linebacker. And he's I guess he's a surgeon there in Birmingham now, but he was a linebacker 81 to 84. And John Henderson, a big defensive tackle, 99 to 2001. Michael Huff, a defensive back from Texas. Of course, Texas was not in the SEC at that time, 2002 to 2005. Terrence Metcalf, offensive lineman, Ole Miss, 97, 99 to 01. Larry Blakeney, he graduated from Auburn. He was the Troy coach. He won 61% of his games. Urban Meyer coached at Florida, and that's his associate with the SEC. He won 85.4% of his games. And Nick Saban, of course, coached at LSU and Alabama. He won 80.4% of his games. So those are the SEC affiliations that should be here. Hopefully everybody can attend and their families for the induction ceremony and the media session that will be held tomorrow.
Let's talk a little bit about, because it's great history here. And I know a lot of things have been passed through the several years since they've had this, but this is really an awesome place.
Yeah. We've been coming out to Las Vegas now for a number of years. I've been to the banquet in New York at the Waldorf. That was fun to be in Manhattan around Christmas time. So, but it's also fun to be in Las Vegas. The weather it's not warm, but it's not super cold either, as it can be in Manhattan. So, but it's it's an assembly of all the college football people, athletic directors and presidents and players and coaches, the head coaches primarily. So it's, like I said, 2,000 people. The local community supports this event. Of course, you can't have it without them buying into the program. So, but the National Football Foundation, headed up by Steve Hatchell, executive director, and then Matthew Sine is the chief financial officer, chief operating officer. Those are the two people that are in the leadership positions of that organization. They're based in Dallas, Texas. And so we get together here in Las Vegas every year, right after the league championship games are played. On that, it was the same in New York. Now they'd have the parties on Monday night and events on the Tuesday night. So they just moved the location, but the dates are the same.
Think you'll be able to secure any interviews while you're there?
Yeah, we should be tomorrow. We're having a media session, a couple different ones in the morning time. So we're hoping to grab as many of the SEC inductees as we can, half a dozen or so, and we'll have a few moments, and we'll put that up on our YouTube channel at AP as we see it, and we'll have some photos as well. But mainly tomorrow is the media session in the morning, and then we'll relax at the banquet and just visit and rekindle some associations that we've had throughout the country.
Well, let's talk about this past weekend. There were a lot of surprises, with some of the bowl games. You want to talk about some of those?
Yeah, we had the SEC championship, Alabama and Georgia. Alabama had defeated Georgia in Athens 24-21. This particular game, Georgia took command. Alabama made quite a few mistakes, which Georgia forced, and they won the game 28-7. So Georgia, once again, and Donna, we've been saying this for at least 2 months or more that the team to beat in the SEC was Georgia, even though we know that Alabama beat them early in the season. But we just liked the way Georgia was progressing and improving, and they were showing a number of ways to win. Low scoring, high scoring, it didn't matter, but they came out in front with the final score in their favor. So we liked Georgia all along, and they lived up to their billing by winning the SEC championship again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Let's talk about the rankings. There's been had quite a few
Right. Yeah, the college football rankings down in the committee all the year long, or most of the year, had been favoring Notre Dame. When I say favoring, I mean had them ahead of some teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And these other teams were behind them, and it was not in the I'll call it a bracket or a segment that they were evaluating. They evaluate, let's say, 4 teams at a time, and some teams were below that level. But now those other teams were catching up once they reached that segment of stature in the rankings. They moved Miami ahead of Notre Dame because one of the guidelines is head-to-head, and Miami beat Notre Dame early in the season. I think it's the very first game or second game. So the Notre Dame administration and their football program and all their fans, they're not very happy because for quite a while they were ranked ahead of Miami, even though they had beaten them. But Notre Dame had the 2 losses against Texas A&M by a point, I believe that was, and then by Miami a couple points. And Miami had some losses. Miami, Donna, this is kind of a crazy notion, but they did not even reach the championship game, one of the 2 teams in their league, but they're in the playoffs.
Yes.
So that's kind of beyond me. That's kind of strange that you can't even reach the championship of your league, but you're in the playoffs. And you're the only team. The actual champion, Duke, was not ranked above the American Athletic champion, Tulane, or I believe that's the Sun Belt champion, James Madison. So it's a strange system. But Donna, let's remember, this is put together by the membership or representatives of the membership. So they all signed on the dotted line and knew that this was a potential possibility with these outcomes. So now to complain about the rankings and who is invited and earns a berth to the college football playoff, I think, as Coach Bryant would say after the game, it's a little bit too late. You're too late. You should have went over this with your athletic director and said, wait a minute now, why are we voting for this system? We don't want to. We want to be included, and there's a way that we can be left out of this calculation, this evaluation process. And for the ACC, they were lucky that the committee moved Miami ahead of Notre Dame to earn a berth in this college football playoff, or the ACC, one of the noted Power 4 conferences, would not have had an entry into the college football playoff. But it worked in their favor, and they're probably happy that Miami is the team that was selected, because they were ranked the highest by the committee, and I think it rightfully so. They probably were the best team in the conference, but they did not reach the conference championship game. It was Duke and Virginia. Virginia would have been a fine representative as well, but they lost to Duke, and they had beaten Duke before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, something to me is wrong with the criteria. I agree with my viewers.
Yeah, Donna, what happens is, Donna, they feel that probably James Madison from the Sun Belt and Tulane from the American Athletic Conference should not be in the final 12 teams earning a berth. But this is a situation, Donna, that I don't know if they've had a time to reflect. I mean, they're busy with their life. So I'll try to explain it the best I can. If you're going to have a system where it excludes a school or someone from that state, then you're going to get a call from the senators from that state and the congressional delegation. Okay, we've given you all these favors, the NCAA college football, to participate and have this championship run, this championship playoff format. but we are not letting you excluding the schools from the power, all the conferences. There's 10 conferences, I believe it is, in Notre Dame as an independent. Also, University of Connecticut. They're the only two independents, Notre Dame and Connecticut. We are not going to let you exclude our conferences where they have zero chance. At least give them a fighting chance. And they did. And sure enough, James Madison, playing good football, won the conference, won the league title game. Tulane beat North Texas in the title game. They won the conference, and they made it fair and square. Those were the rules. You're the power. You say you're the power conference? Well, you didn't prove it. And Miami got in just because the committee pushed them ahead of all the other teams in the ACC, even though they were not in the championship game. Now, there's teams invited that don't make the championship game. Like the SEC has 5 teams. Georgia's invited automatically. But you have Alabama, Oklahoma, Mississippi, and who else we have here? Texas A&M as well. So they have the 5 teams in the playoffs. But this, hopefully in my explanation, it was a political massaging of a college football playoff format. So you're inclusive and you're not excluding anybody who's playing on the FBS level. That's 136 teams.
Wow. Yeah, different rules. We have to go into a commercial break. Can you believe this? Already half the show. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. So everybody hang in there. I want to talk to you about your top 5. We'll be back.
Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020. We're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for 2 or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
We are back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television and radio talk show where truth matters. Wanted to mention a few new sponsors we have. We've got Honey Baked Ham. We've talked about them a little bit. They're giving away a $25 gift certificate, by the way, and it's every single Friday. And Eggs Up Grill is another one of our new sponsors. AP, have you ever been to an Eggs Up Grill?
I can't say that I've been, but I don't recall. But I don't recall.
They're growing really fast. They're right here. They also have a location in Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay.
And so they're going to expand to 100 new locations this coming year. So I think that's pretty good. But they're giving away a $25 gift certificate too. Now they serve breakfast and lunch. And you can have breakfast at lunch if you'd like to do that as well. But they're it's very cafe style, very family friendly. I think you want to take the kids out there and let them have a good time too. And we've got the Anderson Mall, by the way, located in Anderson, Alabama. And quite a few of those stores are coming on board. We'll let you know when that happens there as well. So we're very excited about what's happening here on Donna's Edge television talk show.
Donna, is that Anderson? You said, is it Alabama or did you mean South Carolina?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. There we go. Anderson, South Carolina. Okay.
It's just
'Cause I'd be looking for Anderson, Alabama.
Yeah, did I say Alabama?
I think you did.
Well, it's South Carolina.
That's what I thought.
Now, Gadsden, Alabama is still with the Gadsden Mall. And
Yes.
So they're doing really well too. I think it's at the management they have. I know Kaylee is, and I think you've met Kaylee
Yeah.
Johnson. And so
Yes.
she actually moved up the ranks and she's over the Anderson, South Carolina Mall too. So anyway, so it's so great to do business with all these folks, and it's been a fun run. Okay, AP, let's talk about your top 5. How did you end the season?
Say that last part, Donna.
How are you ending the season?
Yeah, my final poll was Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, and Ole Miss. That was my top 5. Indiana won. They leaped Ohio State. And I had Indiana way up there the entire season, Don. I just really believed in, number one, their coach, and I believed in their quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. And they proved out on Saturday evening where they beat Ohio State in a low-scoring game, 13-10. So it was Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, and Ole Miss. That was my top 5.
You know, we talked a lot about Vanderbilt, basically the past couple of years. How do you think they're going to fare out next season?
Yeah, if they can get a quarterback. I know Clark Lee, he's very good as a coach. He knows how to evaluate talent. He's using the NIL to his advantage because those who are sharp evaluating talent, Donna, they know who should receive the money. Everybody has money now, but who should receive the money? Are you betting on the right quarterback? If you don't bet on the right quarterback, you're going to struggle the entire season. You're going to win some games, but you're going to lose some as well that you should win if you had the right quarterback. I'm not saying you're going to win every game, but you want to be competitive. So Clark Lee and Vanderbilt, he signed an extension with his alma mater. He didn't want to leave, so good for him.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk Alabama and Auburn. And, of course, the game was this is one of those nail biters, I call it. I could, especially the first part of the game, I could see where it could be anybody's game. But I'd like to hear your analysis.
Yeah, we thought that the Alabama-Auburn game would be competitive. We said so on your show and my show as well, because they seemed to come to life on the offensive side down, and they played well most of the season, except in that Vanderbilt game when they gave up the 45 points. But we know they had a good defense. They can rush the passer, and they were good stopping teams from scoring a great deal of points. And Ashton Daniels and company, he got the ball to Cam Coleman, one of the better wide receivers who had been dormant most of the season with the other quarterback involved. But they did much better the last few ball games, and so they were productive offensively, so they were playing some complementary football. And the game was close. There was a fumble at the end when Auburn was driving to try to tie up the ball game, but it ended up being a very fun game to watch. I know it wasn't fun for Auburn, but it's fun for Alabama. It's fun for the college football world. They're watching a rivalry game.
That was always fun to watch those rival games. Let's talk about Clemson, South Carolina. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah. Clemson ended up the season with a victory on the road in Columbia. Clemson, oh, by the way, they're playing in a kind of a cool game down for them, I think. They're playing at the Pinstripe Bowl, which is in New York City, where the New York Yankees play in the Bronx. And they're playing Penn State. So that's kind of a cool game. That's on the 27th of December. It's 11 a.m. Central, 12 o'clock Eastern. So Clemson, they didn't have a good season. They're not happy. They're going to have to regroup, make sure they have the right quarterback, whether it's in the portal or somewhere they brought on board in the recruiting process. But they're going to have to get right with that quarterback position and other things defensively, play much better. And I know that Dabo Sweeney and company, they can't wait to redeem themselves next season, because if they don't have a good season again, that's looking like a trend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sure is.
Then we're going to start to think about making changes at the top.
Let's talk about coaches, because there have been some disappointments in that era. So let's talk about
So the changes were made at Arkansas, LSU, Florida, Kentucky. We were saying for about a month that Kentucky probably would separate from Mark Stoops. Mark Stoops, he was the dean of coaches in the SEC. I think he was there, was it 13 years, something like that. So they made a change. They brought in Alex Stein, who's from Kentucky, he's from Louisville, played at Trinity High School, won 3 state championships, and he was the OC at Oregon. So they're in the playoffs. So they brought him on board. We know that Arkansas hired the Memphis coach. And we know that Ole Miss, they lost their coach Lane Kiffin to LSU. We know that Florida brought on the Tulane coach, John Sumrall, who played at Kentucky, was from Grissom High School in Huntsville, Alabama. So there were some noted changes there. We noted that the Mississippi State is bringing back their former head coach to be the defensive coordinator. He was good on the defensive side, but couldn't manage the program. So Jeff Levy, which I think is, it enlightens you onto somebody like Jeff Levy. He's bringing back the former head coach of Mississippi State. I think that's a strong move. That his ego is not getting involved. He's picking the best person, even though that person was a 1-year head coach at Mississippi State and he was fired. And he's bringing back him to lead the defense because they need assistance on that side of the ball. So I think that was pretty unique,
Mm-hmm. Let's talk Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn brought on a new coach, Alex Golish from University of South Florida. He's beaten some Power 5 teams, Power 4 teams. He beat University of Florida this year. He coached at the University of Tennessee as offensive coordinator. He knows offense. He seems to know how to manage a program. So I think that was probably a good hire for them. They're trying to get back to winning football and competing at a higher level on the Plains, because they've been down for a while now, half a dozen years or so or less. But they're looking to win and win big because they've been struggling for quite a while.
You think it's been a coaching issue, or could it have been something else?
Well, I would just say observing, and it's a different matchup, of course, but Auburn struggled offensively all year, and they had I think they had above average receivers. Now, the quarterback play was not as good. They inserted Ashton Daniels, the transfer from Stanford. They came alive, scoring 38 points against Vanderbilt, giving Alabama a big ball game, scoring a lot of points in the game against, I forgot who it was. It was maybe it was Mercer. Yeah. But I think that somewhere along the way, when they made that transition to the interim coach, the offense improved. Like I say, it's a different team. You're not playing the same caliber of team sometime, but they showed some promise. So with Alex Golish, who's an offensive type coach, I mean, Hugh Freeze was as well, but he never could unleash that offense, and he had some talent on that side of the ball. So something was not right, and they couldn't go on any longer. It didn't seem like any progress.
No, it seemed like there needed to be a huge tweak, and I never could figure it out. But
there wasn't hope.
Coach coming in, what are some of his strengths?
Yeah, the new coach coming in Auburn, Alex Golis, like I said, he was at Tennessee. Tennessee always had a good offense under Josh Heupel, and Alex was the offensive coordinator. He's had success. Like I say, when you're beating a team in the Power Four here at University of South Florida, that means you're beating a team that has a better roster than you. Mm-hmm. So that illuminates something about his ability to coach his talent to play at a higher level than he's recruited or has acquired. So that's hopeful for Auburn, that they're going to be able to win some ball games, maybe that they were maybe possibly an underdog next year because of their coaching staff.
Who do you think was the Cinderella team this past season?
Yeah, I think Vanderbilt winning those 10 games down, they went to Nashville and put a lot of points and beat Tennessee over there. And just ended horribly for the Tennessee folks to get beat by Vanderbilt in their historic season of winning. And they were the 10th game. That was a little sugar on the wound by being the 10th game to win. And Vanderbilt's never done that in their history. So that was a high point and a crescendo for Vanderbilt. So I think if they can end the season with a victory, they're actually playing Iowa in the Reliant Quest Bowl. That's the 31st of December. That's an 11 a.m. Central start.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. A couple of minutes left in this segment. AP as we see it. What's up next for your show?
Yeah, Donna, we're going to go over the college football playoff rankings and the teams in the playoff. We're going to go over all the bowl games for the SEC teams. I'd just like to mention that Auburn declined an invitation. They didn't have a winning record. You usually have to qualify with 6 wins. They were 5-7, but they didn't have enough entries for the bowls, Donna. So they'll refer back to the 5-7 team. They'll look at the graduation levels and things to see if you qualify at the 5-7 level. So we're going to discuss those things. I don't have my guests lined up at the moment, but we have a lot to discuss, and people are happy that Alabama from the SEC earned a berth, and the Notre Dame folks are very disappointed, and they kind of took their ball and went home, Donna. They're not even going to participate in the bowl game.
I still can't see that. I just, if you got a bowl game coming up, do it.
I think it's kind of selfish, personally, Donna, because there's always somebody when you're selecting people in the evaluation process in the basketball, any tournament where you have a committee, you're leaving somebody out that's on the cusp. Yeah. So to take your ball and go home and say, we're not even going to go to a bowl game, I think it's very narrow, one-sided. I think it reveals so much about you and your university and your football program. I really do. Your athletic department. And there are teams who refuse to go to the bowls. A couple of other teams as well. I think it's in the Big 12. Mm-hmm. I can't remember them offhand, but Auburn refused because they got a new coaching staff. I can understand when you're 5-7, Donna, and you want to hit the reset button. For your Notre Dame, 10 wins, and you have all those seniors that played very hard for you, and you're not going to let them have a trip somewhere. I find that very difficult to logically accept.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. Let's go ahead and call this a day. You have some fun over there in Vegas.
I sure will, Don. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We definitely appreciate that. And we'll see you next time around. But remember to continue sending email. Even the sports ones, Donna at donnasedge.com. Donna at donnasedge.com. We'll see you next time.
Because of your overwhelming support, our 1488 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing, including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television and Radio Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching Monday through Friday beginning at 2 p.m., and that's on the Eastern Time Zone as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You may find us on television. We're syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. You can also find us on the radio. We're the biggest powerhouse country station in South Carolina, WZLA 93.9 on the FM, and always so good to be with you. Continue sending email, Donna@donnasedge.com. That's Donna@donnasedge.com. So happy to be with you. Always happy to be with my very good friend, Michelle Bland. Michelle is an author, and I don't know how you do it. I have always been so amazed at people who write books. And so you've been doing that for quite some time now, haven't you, Michelle?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really, to be honest with you, a newbie at it. It's like maybe, well, a newbie as far as putting one out. I've been writing them probably, you're right, for a few years, but I never actually really published one. So yeah, you're accurate in saying that. But I published my first one this year. Mm-hmm. I kind of, finally got the nerve up to do it. And it's been interesting. I'm learning a lot. All the pitfalls, the do's, the don'ts, but it's worth it. It's a lot of fun.
I'm one of those, I can learn on what not to do. I have to make some mistakes so that I can know not to do it again. So that's my pitfall. So let's talk about your first book and what brought you to that idea of the book you wrote.
The first book, A Secret is Born, actually was an experience that I had in my own life. And, as much as you try to forget things, it's always somewhere there in the background. Mm-hmm. But I finally decided just to write about it as a form of therapy for me. Mm-hmm. I didn't really feel like there was anyone I could talk to about it, so I just wrote about it. And amazingly enough, it did help. And so after I wrote it, I thought about maybe the people who had gone through similar experiences, and that's what made me want to go ahead and publish it.
I've heard a lot of people talk about that. I've had Christian psychiatrists on the show before, and they would always say, start a journal. And they were talking, sometimes they would get questions from the audience, and the people would say, well, you know what? I actually did write some of this stuff down, and it always helps. There's something about, and he would say, don't even type it in. This has been several years ago. Don't even type it in. Handwrite it, but it takes me too long. I can't even read my own handwriting, so I have to type everything in, Michelle.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that writing it and having it flow from you is different than just getting on a computer and, picking it out. And I think that's what helped me out a lot. So, yeah, but it's under a pen name. It's under Desi Mays if you go to look for it on Amazon. Mm-hmm. I had obvious reasons why I put it under a pen name, not my own name, because I didn't really want my family, to read it. I mean, if they do, it's okay, but it's just not something that I really wanted them to know about. That's why it's been a secret all these years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your secret. But how do you feel now that you've written the book? Do you feel a little bit better about things?
Yeah, I do. It like I said, writing helped me to kind of get out some feelings that I hadn't dealt with before. So yeah, I do feel better about it since I wrote about it. Mm-hmm. And I hope it helps somebody else.
That's the point. Sometimes we go through things and we think, well, it's just, I'm the only person it's ever happened to. I mean, I've done that. And then, like, you let somebody hear your story, and it kind of brightens them up a little bit. Not that they're glad that something bad happened to you, but they're glad to know they're not the only one. Right. And people are always looking for an answer to things. There's a situation, and what's the answer? How do I handle this? And so you're a guiding light out there, so you're able to help people.
I hope so, because that was the intent of me, writing it, that if I can help, just one person, then, that makes the whole thing worth it, Mm-hmm. But, and then after I I did A Secret is Born. The next book that I moved on to was Unbearable Deceptions. And that one, of course, was fiction. And that book I actually had started a few years ago. And then I just stopped, because I work a lot. And sometimes it's hard to have the time to set aside to really, engulf yourself into writing, because you really have to do that. And this year I just decided, I blew the dust off of it. And I said, okay, let me finish this story. And it's basically a love story. This young woman meets this man and they fall in love. And then there's so many twists and turns along the way. And basically the story tells you how they survived it. And I tried to make it, what they say, unputdownable, so that you wanted to just keep reading and reading until you finish it. I tried to make it exciting and unpredictable. So, yeah, that's the Unbearable Deceptions is the next book that came to line. And then the next one after that, actually, I got the idea from somebody I worked with. We were talking about body count. I never knew, and I almost feel embarrassed to confess this, I never knew that people used the term body count to talk about how many people, they had slept with. Body count for me was like, when you look at CSI,
Yeah.
Right. That's the only body count I knew about. But I worked with a young girl and she was schooling me and telling me, we use body count to as a description for how many people we slept with. And from there, that's when I got the idea to make the body count journals. I actually had put them on TikTok. I put them on YouTube. And the funny thing about it is this lady had commented about, oh, this is disgusting. And I remember thinking to myself, it may be disgusting to you, but, I'm hoping that it will help somebody. When I originally created them, it was geared more toward young people. I think it's a good way that if you have a teen that you suspect is sexually active, to kind of get them to hold their own self accountable, not to judge themselves. But I feel like sometimes when you're young, sometimes you're a little frisky. And if you're keeping account of who you're with, I think that makes you look at it and go like, wow, did I really, was I really into with that many people? And then I'm hoping that they would use it in a way to hold their own self accountable. So, and not just, young people, but, older people as well. Because I think sometimes when you're out there, you don't think about what you're doing. You just do it. But I think if you're keeping track of it, then maybe you'll be looking like, maybe I need to slow down a little bit. You know what I mean?
Many reasons, though. I mean, there was a time saving yourself for the person you're going to marry was a big deal in society and all the different changes in society. And just, I don't know, every television commercial, every new show. I mean, it's like that. People think that that's what you do.
Yeah, I think this generation looks at sex a whole lot differently than our generation. I was always taught that it was something sacred, and that you found somebody that you wanted to be with, and that's who you were with. But like you said, in today's society, it's different. It's like it's okay to go out and just, have fun. And I'm not saying that it's not, because I try not to judge people, because how you look at sex depends on how you were raised and how you were taught about it. So I try not to judge people, because everybody has a different view when it comes to sex. But I'm kind of hoping that the journals will help them, first of all, to keep track. Second of all, to, like I said, hold yourself accountable for what you're out here doing. And if you would ever contract a disease or something, it would help you to figure out, who you caught it from. Or if you get pregnant.
The reason that people need to be careful, though, is because and I heard this one time, and I think it probably helped me to make the decision to be careful and safe for my husband. But there was a couple that I knew, and he had the affair, and he wound up having an affair with somebody, and she had a disease, she had BD. Well, he wound up giving it. No, it was AIDS. It was AIDS. So he had slept with this woman, and she had slept with somebody who had AIDS. Well, guess what? She was spreading the AIDS virus. And his wife got it.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so, and I remember hearing about that. It's a true story. And I remember hearing about that thinking, how unfair is that to his wife?
Yeah.
She wanted to remain true and everything. Then he messed around and then she winds up with VD. It's just something that does not seem right about that at all. I can't.
No, it's not. And while we're speaking on men, I also made about a body count journal for the men, and it's called Not the Daddy. So, and it's pretty much the same as the one that I created for the women. It's a way for them to track who they sleep with, but I try to write it more on the level that a man would like, because my son was like, I said, I'm going to do it like I did the body count journal for the women. And my son's like, no, mama, men think differently. They're not going to want to sit down and write out all their emotions and do all that stuff like a woman. So my son actually helped me to structure it so that he said that a man would look at it and be like, oh yeah, I can deal with this. So my son helped me with that one. And then after that was Who's Watching Mom and Dad. And those were the ones, and I actually have one of them here that really, really meant a lot to me because I work in the healthcare industry. So from working there, I've seen a lot, and it helped me to develop Who's Watching Mom and Dad. The first one, you have several chapters in there to help you, like if you're just going in. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and just read off exactly what's in there. You have a family observation section, and basically you want to go in and different things that you're noticing, go ahead and document and write. So if you have a complaint and you have to go to who's in charge, you have everything documented with time and dates. And sometimes when you have issues, that helps your case to be able to say on this date, this happened at this time. It has an appointments and visits log, so you can keep up with, when your family goes to the doctor and what the outcome of it was and the recommendations. It has a fall and injury section. That's a brief section because at this point, you're really hoping that your loved one isn't having a lot of falls. Vital signs and blood sugar section, so you can keep track of that. And then the clothing inventory tracker, because I cannot tell you how many times I went in the laundry room and there been clothes there with no name. We didn't know who they belonged to.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And we had actually, and I'm almost embarrassed to admit this, we had an entire room full of things that belonged to people that didn't have names and we didn't know who they belonged to. So that's very important.
Michelle, let's go into a commercial break, and we're going to be right back in just a few minutes. I'd like to get a little bit more into detail about that.
Okay.
We'll be right back in just a few minutes.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Okay, we are back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television and radio talk show where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday. Now, you can find us not only if you're at work right now. I don't want you to get fired because you watch the show. You can find us anytime you want to on Facebook Live. And just go through facebook.com/D Feazell. You can find us on YouTube, all the social media sites. So we're there for you just anytime you'd like to see a show. I'm talking to my friend Michelle Bland right now. And so little did I know back 20 years ago that she was an aspiring writer. And you are. So and I'm going to tell you, a lot of folks are taking care of elderly parents right now. That's what I'm doing right now. Phil and I are taking care of my mother. And so mother used to work in a nursing home, and she was a laundry supervisor. And she said the exact same thing that you did. A lot of times people wouldn't put their names on the clothing. And they wouldn't have an earthly idea who it belonged to. And they would just put it in a room somewhere, hoping that some of the relatives would come by and this is mother's, this is dad's, whatever. So, I mean, what can you do? Maybe when they just tell the kids or whoever brings them in to please put their names on it.
Yes, that's really important. I mean, because just take the time and invest in a Sharpie and write their name in it. Just so if someone leaves it in there and we don't know who it belongs to, that your loved one's things don't end up getting lost or thrown in the lost and found box. And I think there's this thing at Walmart where you can actually, it's like a little white sticker thing and you iron it in, if I'm not mistaken, and put your loved one's name on it. But, if you don't want to be that intricate, just get a Sharpie, write their name. If you don't want, you're worried about the name, being seen by somebody, put it on the tag, just put their room number, put their name, put something so that we know who it belongs to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's your treasure, that's your clothes, and we want people to be able to change clothing, and be nice and clean and everything. So yeah, I mean, there's some. What are some other tips? Because I mean, for people who have there's a lot of people who've never even been to a nursing home before, so they don't have a clue what it is and what it's like. What are some things that people just don't understand? They don't know. I mean, it's not because they don't care; they just don't know. What are some things they need to know about a nursing home and keeping their loved ones in one?
I think it's important that you bring, I think a lot of times they assume that we have like little dressers and things for their loved ones' clothes. Some nursing homes may have that, but a lot of them don't. So I think it's important that you bring some type of dresser or something to store the clothes in. The closet space is very, very limited. You're only going to be able to fit with so much in there. And a lot of times it's like they try to bring everything and there's nowhere to put it. So for me, I feel like you should just bring like just the essentials, not try to bring everything. Making sure they have enough of change of pants, shirts, stuff like that. But a lot of the stuff that they bring, like they'll bring like tons and tons of pictures. And I get that, but just, bring a few because you're not going to have anywhere to put them, to be honest with you. Now, one lady, she brought a dresser and she has them all over, the top of her dresser, which is cool. I'm not really sure. The rules vary from place to place if you're able to put them on the walls, because I'm thinking that they wouldn't want, a bunch of pictures streamed everywhere because then that does damage to their property. But, just if you have a big dresser, or even if you have like a TV stand where you can, line them up. But it's important to bring that. It's important to like get like a little trash can because some places supply them, some places don't. That's important. And lighting is very important because where I'm at, they don't have like the ceiling lights in the top. So it's important that you bring a lamp, bring them some type of lighting. You get a lighting like when you first walk in the door. It's like the main lighting. Now you do have that, but that's not going to illuminate the whole room. So, you need to bring like a little lamp, a bedside table so that they're not fiddling around in the dark. Because more than likely, most people, they like for you to turn that light off and then your loved one is sitting in the dark. And a night light is good too. So if you don't want to bring a light, bring a night light so that if they get up and go to the bathroom, you don't have to worry about them falling. So that's just important. I think it's important that you bring your own toiletries for them because even though a lot of facilities will supply them, it's not really like, the good stuff. Like if your mom uses Dove, then you don't really want to use the facility because they're not, their supplies are not going to be on the same level that Dove is on. So if your loved one has, things like that in particular that they like, bring that.
Maybe their favorite fragrance or something like that. So they can, because I'm just telling you, fragrances are wonderful. Some people like fruity, some people like foods smells, we know that from candles, you and I, so we dealt with that a lot.
Yes.
And it brings memories back, and so, I mean, I can smell a sugar cookie and it makes me think of my grandmother every single time with a candle. But I'm talking about their toiletries and things like that, hand creams and those kinds of things.
Yes.
Scented
Face creams, makeups. I had one lady that I used to help her to get ready in the morning, and she had all her little makeup, her cosmetic, and she would have a routine that she would want me to do. Put this on first, and then you put that on, and then you put the makeup on. And I'm like, I don't know nothing about makeup. I don't wear it, so I don't know anything about putting makeup on. But she would talk me through it because she had her little regimen, how she wanted things done. So yeah, it's important. Just like you have things at home, bring them, like the little small personal things. It's just like the big things. You want to go in and see how big the room is first before you start bringing everything. Because most of the time, everything is not going to fit. Yeah. So I would advise people just to bring the stuff that's important, But, some places are different. Some have a lot of space, So it's all about you going in, checking it out, and kind of like guesstimating what you need to bring. But right off the top, I would say bring a lamp, bring a trash can, bring their personal belongings that that they love.
What about those little foldable TV, the little trays that you could put, big enough so you can put a lamp on it or something. There's all kinds of things that you can get that are
that would be nice. Keep it at the bedside. Yeah, that would be great. I would say bring, like in the bathroom, maybe bring like a little rug. But the facility where I work at, they don't want you to bring that. See, I work on a memory care unit. And they don't want you to bring things like that because they're afraid that your loved one, is going to trip and fall, which, for the unit I work on, yeah, that's a concern. And while we're speaking about that, I want to go into the next one. This is Who's Watching Mom and Dad, but this is the fall and injury edition. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, if your loved one has gotten to that point in their life where they are having a lot of falls, that's something that you would want to have, because you're keeping track. It's almost like an incident report, like the ones that we use. When they call you, get the time, get the date, the location where they fell at. Was it in the room? Was it in the bathroom? Did anybody witness the fall? Did staff happen to walk in and see them trip and fall? And get a description from them of the fall. And then the injuries, it's got a section where you can check off the injuries and a section for follow-up notes. And then on this page, you have a section for pictures. And I think that's important. Take pictures and keep track of all of that.
Yeah, somebody's got a camera phone. I mean, that's an easy thing that you can do right now. We have about a little bit less than 3 minutes left in this segment. Now, you've written another book. You want to tease us a little bit about it?
Yes, ma'am. I have actually started a vampire novel, and I am excited about it. And I actually got the idea. I was online researching some stuff about the Black Death, and I got the idea from the research that I was doing on the Black Death. I'm not going to tell a lot about it because I don't want to give it away, but I'm just going to say that the vampires end up getting contaminated from people that they drank of that carried the Black Death plague. And from that, I expanded it. So I'm really excited because I'm still going on and developing it. And I'm really, really excited about it because I love vampire books myself. Love them.
Oh, I do too. And I like those old movies back from the 30s and the 40s, where they'd have Bela Lugosi and all of, the Draculas and all that kind of stuff. It's always been fascinating to me too.
Have you ever seen Dracula Untold? I love that movie. Yes, you should check that movie out. It is really, really good. I know a lot of people are caught up in the Twilight zone because, the Twilight series was really, really good. And I liked it too. But I loved the Dracula the Untold story. That was really good.
Yeah. There was really someone back in the 1600s there was a Dracula. I don't know that he drank blood and all that stuff, but
Yeah, I believe there was. I've never really researched it. I just like the fantasy idea of it. I remember back in the day, there was one called Dark Shadows. I don't know if do you remember that?
Yes, I remember Dark Shadows. Yeah.
Yes, and I remember the area that used to run the film caught on fire. And I think all of the Dark Shadow videos got burned up. Mm-hmm. So like wherever they were that you saw it in the series, that was it. Mm-hmm. As far back as I can remember. Now, I don't know if they ever recovered any of them, but I do remember I used to watch it every evening when I got off from school, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. And it's like, what happened to Dark Shadows? Uh-huh. But they said that the studio, I think it was in Beckley, West Virginia, caught on fire, and all of the clips that were there got burned up.
That's something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got to call it a day. We got to call it a day. Now, how can folks find your books?
I am on Amazon. If you put my name in, Michelle Bland, 1L, Michele, Bland, Bland, all the books that I have written are on Amazon, and they will come up when you put my name in.
That's absolutely amazing. Michelle, thank you so much for being on the show with me. So time just flies when you're on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Just like that. And thank you guys so much for watching. You're the reason we do what we do. Continue sending email, Donna at donnasedge.com, Donna at donnasedge.com.